The great thing about Sony E-mount is that it's been around for a while, and so a lot of third parties make really, really lovely lenses for it. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today, the brand new Tamron 70-180 f2.8 Di III VXD. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's a pretty impressive lens, and I just want to give you a quick overview, show you a few images from it, and tell you a bit about what it can do. So the first exciting thing about this lens is for Tamron, it sort of completes a trio. They already have a 17-28 f2.8, a 28-75 f2.8, and they now have this 70-180 2.8. So it's a really nice trio of zoom lenses. And the next thing is that it's really nice and compact. Now, if you take a look at this lens, it's about 15 centimeters long, which is tiny for a 70-180 f2.8 zoom. And if you pair it up with those other two lenses, all together, they weigh 1.82 kilograms for 3 f2.8 zoom lenses. Now, this lens itself weighs just 810 grams, which is incredibly light. And when I've been out, I've taken it out for a couple of my daily walks, and it was noticeably light. You did notice how light it was when you were walking around with it, and it feels very balanced on the front of the camera. You don't need a tripod mount or anything like that. You know, it feels balanced, doesn't feel like it's gonna rip the mount off the camera, which is really nice, because let's face it, although we love the size of a lot of these mirrorless full frame cameras that are coming out, the lenses are generally massive. And so it's nice to see actually a zoom lens that's built with quality in mind, but also with size in mind. I'm going to start off with the externals. So back to that trio of lenses, the good thing Tamron have done is all of them have the same size front element. So all of them take a 67mm filter, the 17-28, the 28-75, and this. So if you're going traveling and you have that trio, it means that you only need one set of filters. Again, just saving room in the bag, which is fantastic. The build quality feels really nice to me, nice and neat. The coating is really nice. It doesn't feel like it'd mark up very easily. I wear a lot of rings, and I'm always really worried when I review stuff. I always take all my rings off, but sometimes I forget, and it worries me with some of these, but this hasn't marked at all, you know, when I've been out using it at all. And it does have like a really nice, the rubber doesn't feel sticky. So I think usability wise, it feels pretty good to me. Do I think it feels as beast-like as a G Master? Probably not, but it does feel pretty good, so I'm happy with it. It's weather resistant, which is good because we live in Britain, and you know, it's got a fluorine front coating, stop oil and dust, repel dirt, that sort of thing. So if you do get some fingertips on there, it's nice and easy to clean off. So all in all, I would say externally, it's pretty successful, especially due to the weight and size of it. Now inside, things are interesting. So we have a VXD motor system. I'm going to try and do this in one take. It's a voice coil drive. No, I've had to write it down. It's voice coil extreme torque drive. So that's VXD, voice coil extreme torque drive. And I'm not saying that again, it's VXD from now on. So we have two linear VXD motors in there, which work on like a floating platform and are both controlled electronically in order to give you really nice, fast, precise, accurate autofocus that's also very quiet. So it's good to know that if you're a video shooter, you can use the autofocus on this and it will stay nice and quiet for you. Realistically, if you're a Sony shooter and you're shooting video with a Sony and you're using a lens like this, I think in most cases, most people aren't going to be using autofocus. You know, pretty much the only shooters who use autofocus for video are Canon, really. But it's nice to know that if you're predominantly photography and you want to take some video and you don't want to be messing about with manual focus, it's nice to know that it does do it nice and quietly. It's not going to wreck your sound, which is good. And actually, when I was out using it, I was pretty impressed with the autofocus, to be honest. Third parties, I always think there is a lag. But actually with this, I would say not noticeable at all in most lighting situations, and only very slightly slower in very rubbish lighting situations. So pretty impressive, to be honest, for a third party. I even tried it doing things like tracking, worked really, really well, tracked some like lambs running across a field and that sort of thing, and it worked really nicely. I also used animal IAF. I switched that on, we saw a fluffy little cat running towards us, so I put on animal IAF and it locked on immediately, and it was really good. Even when the cat, straight on it locked on, and even when the cat was sort of here, it would still get the eye, which I was really, really impressed with. I thought that was a really good feature from this, that it had that animal and human IAF compatibility. Now next up are the elements, so the things we're actually taking the images through. It has 23 elements in here, so amazing they've managed to keep it so light, to be honest, because that is quite a few. We have 1 XLD element, so 1 extra low dispersion, 5 LD, so 5 low dispersion, and a couple of hybrid spherical lenses too. So all of those together basically mean that you're going to get the best resolving quality possible, really nice contrast. It's removing chromatic aberration and sort of removing distortion to give you the best quality possible, which is what we want to see from a lens like this. And when I first saw the size, I thought, what is this gonna be like? Is it gonna be as good quality as I'm hoping? But actually it's really sharp. I was actually really, really impressed with it. It's really sharp, really crisp. The out of focus areas are very attractive. I think it's got 9 aperture blades. And it is a pretty lens to use. I took a few pictures of some bluebells, and obviously, I mean, I'm a sucker for sort of out of focus areas. I shoot everything on the lowest possible apertures, and even when I shouldn't. And the bluebells, it was so lovely, you know, the big purple blossoms in the background that you were getting, and they were very attractive, very smooth. So I was impressed with how well it did that. As I say, sorry there aren't more pictures. Obviously with lockdown we are restricted a little. Now, something else it can do, which I thought was it's a bit of a weird one to be honest, but pretty cool. The minimum focusing distance throughout the zoom range is 85 centimetres. That's all right, throughout, not too bad, not here nor there really. But what it can do is if you stick your camera in manual focus and then you pop this at 70mm, it can focus at 0.27 meters, so 27 centimeters, which is very, very close. And what it does is it keeps the center of the frame in focus and the rest of it goes out of focus. So it's a very arty, creative feature that this has. But if you're really desperate to get up close to something, it does have that capability, which is really nice. So if you want to know more information, you can of course pop onto the website. There's loads of information on our website for this new 70 to 180. You can also give us a call, send us an email, and as I say, when lockdown is finished, our stores will reopen and you can check it out in there too. I of course will be on hand, so if you want to leave a comment, I will try to get back to you with all the information that you could need. If you'd like to ask some questions about usability or when I was out with it, how did this work, how did that work, totally get in touch. I'll be happy to answer any questions if I can. But for now, I guess keep being creative. We've really enjoyed seeing all the images that are coming through using our hashtag WexAtHome on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. There've been some fantastic photos coming through, so make sure to keep sharing those with us. It really keeps us inspired as well as the rest of the community as well. But stay home, stay local, keep up your daily exercise, and thanks for watching.